All right, Sarah, in true form, we are kicking off sooner than I think we are, and then I'm caught off guard and I'm drinking on camera instead of greeting everybody. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome.
Hello there.
Welcome to the Godly Woman Network and our current episode of this segment, We've Only Just Begun. Lots of changes across the Godly Woman Network platforms. If you're new, welcome. Pardon our dust. If you're not new, thanks for still being with us through the growing pains and for being part of the growth. It is your participation as audience members, people who like, comment, share, subscribe, follow, tag, comment. It is your participation as clients one-on-one for myself and other practitioners, participants in our group classes. You really do make these platforms go round. And I'm excited to redesign the YouTube channel to be our home for podcasts for the Godly Woman Network. So my lovely co-host, Sarah Bolton, and I are elated to come to you with this month's episode. How are you, Sarah?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, we're here.
We made it. We
We're
made
here.
it.
Listen, we have dedicated the first Thursday of every month to when we will record our episodes. And as it is clear on the calendar, today is Saturday, July 25th.
The end of the month.
But I want you to know that these two moms are really proud of themselves for getting this in this month.
Yes.
Okay, there's enough that's happened that we really could have just been like, see you in August. We digress. We digress.
Hey, a podcast has just begun. We are going through it. But we're
That's the
glad to
good
be
thing
here.
about being, we are glad to be here. And that's the good thing of being in the space of we've only just begun is you can always just begin over.
Up 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
All right. This month, though, is your brainchild. You had this idea for a concept of this conversation. We entitled this month's episode, I'm proud to be Anne, and then dot, dot, dot.
Dot, dot, dot.
So, talk to us about what your intentions are for today's conversation and why it's on your heart.
Being July in a lot of for a lot of people, this is a celebration month of the beginning of the United States or a lot of different dynamics that could be going around. But it really brought to heart for me the beginning of when I became an adopted Assyrian American. And I really I use that because as some people already know, she is my stepmother by trade, but you're my mom, honestly. And when that happened, I apologize, I have a fly. I was adopted into this amazing community of the Assyrian culture, faith, you know, and it really just brought to heart for me, like, I might not have Assyrian in my veins, but they are in my heart, and they have accepted and welcomed and loved me through all of this. And I really just wanted to speak on that because you don't have to be born into something or um, started somewhere. You can be integrated into and be welcomed and loved, and that can become your identity, your person, how you identify for yourself. And I really just
Well,
wanted to uh, really just communicate that and really shed light into all of that. Um, but I didn't think I could do this alone. And I really wanted you guys to also hear a story from a different perspective as well. So I would like to introduce another co host today.
we have a special guest. Our special
Hello.
guest.
I would like to introduce my little brother, my amazing partner, Steven.
Welcome, Steve-O.
Happy to be here.
Hey, was it not streaming live on YouTube? Could you not see what was going on, or you could
It,
see?
it was streaming live, but I think there was a delay because I was just watching it and I didn't know I was about to get welcomed on. But I'm happy to be here. So I might be a little bit out of touch with where we're
It's
at
it's
in the
okay.
conversation.
It's okay. Welcome to the virtual green room that we were holding you in for a minute. Sarah was just kind of breaking down her interest in today's topic, which I'd like to kind of reiterate and say a couple of things before we jump into what these beautiful human beings have to say. Um, so, as many of you know who follow my platforms, I am an Assyrian American. am born to immigrants and refugees who hail from a different part of the planet than good old Flint, Michigan, USA, where I was born and raised. And that does shape person. Even though I was an American patriot raised to honor my country that gave our bloodline a new life on the outside of our house, right? Like you operate on this land the way this land says to operate, be a patriot and keep this land prospering. You're getting a home here, take care of it like you would take care of your house and your yard, take care of your nation. But inside those four walls was very, very different. And my father made no qualms about that as an immigrant from Baghdad, Iraq. He made no qualms of saying, as he raised me in the 70s and 80s, etc., that la America, outside is America. Because, in the 70s and 80s, I thought I was smart. I'd be like, Baba, I have rights. And he'd say, oh, Amerikete what? You're an American. You're an American. Yeah, yeah, you do. You have rights. Beteni. Outside of our house is America. Yawai. Inside, it's Morbishu. And Morbishu is a territory where the Garden of Eden sits. If you're a Bible person, that's where my people come from. So, yeah, inside the house was Morbishu. Fast forward, I marry this guy, Brian. And he's got kids. I'm blessed. I'm like, this is fantastic. I get to be a mom to these kids. Well, but they're little white kids in America. Like they have no idea what they have encountered, and I have no idea what it means to encounter them and integrate it all. So these beautiful people, uh, they are the guinea pigs of the Johns Zaru communion. Okay, this is they're gonna give you. I'm gonna actually. I wish I had popcorn or something to sit back and watch this show. I'm gonna be asking some questions, but they're gonna be doing the talking. Okay. So let's talk about because you said, Sarah, when you started, just to catch Stephen up too, you said that you felt that when you integrated into my side of the family that you had this community that was warm and welcoming and embraced you. So do you guys want to just start off with that part first? What was that for you? Who were the players? What was the vibe? And what do you mean by that?
Absolutely.
For me to start off with just my grandparents, your mom and dad were the first, I think, real like yes, we had our father's parents, but they had a totally different way of love and showing us themselves, which was in a way the differences of culture, so to speak. Like Nana and Baba is what we call them. Nana and Baba love food, and so every time we come over, it's a whole platter of food, snacks in between, and um, something as silly as the kids sit on the floor, but it's around the family, right? And so just from there, then meeting other people, but really the start of it, I think, with me for me was our grandparents, just their love and support and community through that.
They were definitely some characters. My father passed in June of 2016, my mother in March of 2019. And they I'm secretly on my Facebook looking up a picture so that the world can we can share Nana and Baba with everybody. But there they are. There's the peeps. There's that little house on the east side of Flint, Michigan that my father bought when he came here as an immigrant in 1969 with his brother and a cousin who was a widow and her son. All of those people have now since passed. And that was the house that they chose to stay in when they entered their late years and being hospiced. As a matter of fact, we had offers on the house to sell the house when my father found out that it was going to be best that we put him on hospice. And he said, "Analia Paltaman Betty, I'm not going to leave my house. This is where I'm going to stay." So these are the digs. It wasn't much materially speaking. And yet it encapsulated an intergenerational and international kind of love and abundance that Sarah is talking about. So yes, that is the beginning. I introduced y'all to my mother and my father, your Nana and your Baba. Stephen, what do you want to add? What do you want to say about the integration?
Obviously culturally, but like I was dealing with a lot when we moved here. Like, I mean, Southern California, born and raised, and then not plucked up, like,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, we
But
moved.
when you're
I
11 and
didn't,
12 years old and you are taken from the environment and people and climate, I mean, everything, right? Like we didn't go from Southern California to Arizona. Okay,
right.
we went, we went to right there.
Uh, well, I mean, even things like that, you can point to where you are in the state on your hand. Like that was new. I had never seen snow. I was 10 years old, so I didn't know anybody, and I had a lot of confusing emotions. And like we knew Nana and Baba, and would visit them, but also like we didn't have places that we were familiar with other than like you taking us to places that you grew up. We went to the church. We did the Sunday church. We did the church chata bakes, and like learned about the culture, the language, and that was just totally new to me. And I loved Bible study as a kid growing up, reading the Bible cover to cover, going to studies with you and dad in different places. And I loved studying. And Baba was a wealth of information and in his service as a deacon. And he was just very knowledgeable. He studied on his own a lot. And that kind of gave me a place to like root and not be so focused about everything that I was upset about as a growing 10-year-old. And it was just new to me too. Like I felt welcomed and accepted, even though I didn't look like anybody or I couldn't pronounce things. Like it was very encouraging to like learn the language and then just give me something to do and be accepted.
I'm remembering something. I don't think you'll mind me telling the story. I remember you were fixing something on their stove one time. Like you were the one little enough to get back to this one area and do something. We'd moved the stove enough for you to get back there and do something. And you were back there mumbling something, but in your gibberish, you actually
Yeah,
said a
I know.
bad word in Assyrian. And I was like, don't say that. And you were like, say what? There was like, "Layati modi lemira." Like he doesn't know what he just said. You're making it a thing. He doesn't know. He was just making sounds.
Me
You
quickly trying to
and I
remember, wait, what did I
know
just
that
say?
could
What
mean
did
over
that mean?
here, but that's not what he meant over here.
Mm.
Funny moments like that got to happen in our lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
But you
it's
talk about the. Give me 1 second, Sarah. You talk about the grounding part,
Yeah,
like that he was someone to ground with. So,
absolutely.
which is really wild because he was my dad, right? And while he was definitely a force with which to reckon, I did not grow up thinking, my, what a grounded, wise man. Right? So, what if you were to say right now, you're walking around in life, you're a husband now, you're a father now. what are the things that you took away from that live with you today?
Definitely his his commitment. Like, I mean, as a deacon, that it's very ceremonial. There's a lot of rules and regulations that you take on of your own free will. You don't, I mean, you can be called to that work, but you have to actively choose that, and it's not easy. And then
Hmm.
he worked very hard, and up until he couldn't work. And I don't know, I don't think he planned it to go that way. And I feel like in me, he found somebody who was like eager to learn and listen, and we were what we needed for each other, and we got very close.
I agree with that. I agree with that. I think actually, Sarah and Stephen, you breathed life into my parents. That as much as they provided you a space that was new and fresh and filled with love and warmth and acceptance, you might not have known how withered they felt. And your presence gave them life, gave them life. And I mean, listen, you got a Middle Eastern patriarch, okay, to
Yeah.
be like this American grandpa. So can we talk? Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Sarah, you wanted to say something. You want no?
No, I wanted to reiterate something else that Stephen had said of the forgive the way I have to say this, but Steven specifically was very blonde and very I got a little lucky. I look very much like you. And so literally it was two kids who could not be in
Mhm.
that community. And literally they didn't see any of that. They didn't it the moment it was like they are family. Okay, they're family and not just our grandparents, but the whole church community and the people
Oh my
around
gosh.
us. They
Oh, the Syrian American Club of
yeah.
Flint, the Cemetery Association, the church, like y'all were like this little prince and princess running around. Everybody knew you. Everybody loved you and everybody knew you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to touch on that some more. It was very much like it's not about what you look like or who you're related to. It was you are a part of this. You are a part of this, and period.
Well,
Um,
and it's a sense of belonging too. Like you can be
yeah,
in an environment and not, you can feel out of place, but like going
Mm.
someplace where you're not sure and everything's new, and then also like 100% acceptance, and then uh just the curiosity was like nurtured. Like you could ask questions about anything.
yeah,
That's
truly.
that's very powerful. I'm gonna bring up another picture for the world. This is actually, you can see this over on the Assyrian Church of the East, Mar Shimon Bar Sabba'a Parish in Flint,
Mm.
Michigan page. This is an old cover of theirs from November 9th, 2015, Stephen. There's Stephen right there with my father and mother walking into the church over at 3112 East Lewis Street in Flint, Michigan. If you're ever in the area and want to drive by, this was the first. I'm trying to see, there's their former patriarch. Trying to see if there's a building. There you go. There's inside the parish. Small, small. Can you smell the incense, Sarah? Just
Yeah.
looking at the picture.
I really did. I really did.
Yep,
Oh,
yep. There's the, and how many times did you guys participate in the services, the songs, the readings? Stephen and Brian, I'm going to tell you at the end of my father's life, which was in 2016, just 6 months after that photo, 7 months after that photo. Um, I mean, he got to a point where he couldn't walk up those steps, and the church, built around 1900 something, didn't have handicap access. So Stephen and my husband would each get on one side of my father's wheelchair and physically hoist him and carry him up those 14 steps on the front of Morshuman Barsabae. And that's where that bond, I think, was really built, was you understood him, Stephen, and what was important to him and why he let you in to that
Yep.
place. And he encouraged you to talk to him, I think, too, from that place.
Yep.
And that was a gift as a grandfather. That was a grandfather gift, because as a father, he didn't have that skill. He wanted to, he attempted to, but it took him a lot of years of being a father to really be able to do that for us. And it was like spontaneous with the two of you. Yeah, really beautiful. Anything else you want to add about them or that?
Just I think the big one, and if Stephen, you touched on it, but the food, the community around the food, that chata bake lives in such a deep part of my soul, and Rosa Shulwa and things of that nature. Being after church, you would always go the community hall, I would call it, was underneath the church. It was like a little basement area, but they homemade that food every Sunday, and people brought into the community potluck style. But it was more than that. It was how people communicated with each other. Like, it was an understanding of this person brought this and this person brought this each week, and they almost didn't have to be asked.
Yeah, it was not very much communication. It just was.
And even if you didn't go to the church every Sunday, the big events, the chata bakes, the community events, invitations didn't even need to be sent out. Like a notification of, okay, just this day, and everybody was there. Everybody came together, and they knew how it was going to go. And that unspoken love and just community has, to this day, like, I haven't found something as amazing, honestly.
That's
That's really
powerful.
sticks.
Sarah, I'm gonna ask the same question.
Yeah.
Hanging out at I call it Zaru HQ over there on Henry Street, being there on Henry Street. What stays with you today? What's living in your life or resonating still with you that you took from that time?
Um, uh, I w- it's going to be the same kind of answer, but the food and the no matter what was happening throughout the day, coming home and being around the table at the end of the night and having that sense of family togetherness. Um, Whatever rules you have in your dynamics in your households and your families, for us, it was very much like you and Nana were in the kitchen in the afternoon getting everything ready. The kids were in the living room, and it just all had its own place and its own sense of home, that I still find in my home now today, where it doesn't matter what we've been doing all day. If we're all exhausted, we turn the TV off, we go to sit at the dining room table, and we have one meal together as a family. And I think that's huge. And even when um, Baba got older and he didn't come to the table, so to speak, he was sitting right on the edge of the couch or somewhere that he could still be with all
Be
of
included,
us.
right?
Yeah. And I think that is so, it just means so much. I think it's just that one moment in the day where you all come together.
That's very Semitic. That's very Semitic. That is literally what Jesus was doing with the disciples, that we've turned into the Last Supper. Like, we've made it with, has all this religious connotation to it. And I mean, granted, it was a Passover meal, but it'd have been like, us getting together for Thanksgiving, or us getting together
Sure.
for, and it was an ask, like, you guys, when I'm not with you, still keep the chubbah, the love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what there is to keep going. Don't let the hubba huyada, the love and the unity. We have a saying in Assyrian that without the presence of love and unity, it's like a fisherman going to fish without a net to cast. It's useless. So betuta, home, household, is meant to embody hubba, love, and huyada, unity. And that's literally, remember that big thing that stood by his door that was written in Assyrian? that big thing
Yeah.
that was right by the front door, that's what that said.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what that said.
Ugh.
Well, super powerful. So let me ask you, as a family now that is like, you know, y'all are grown, right? You got no quote unquote obligations
Mm.
to me, my quote unquote my side of the family, the culture, the whatever, and yet you have been ridiculous enough to sign on for more, right? Apparently you like it a little bit at least.
Enough.
Not like enough. Sarah's like, it's all right. It'll do. What's the part now for us to build on and take forward? What do you guys, as people in your next decade of life, what and starting your own, your own tribe, your own extension of the family now, right? What are the things that you want us to make sure now that I'm Nana, now that he's Papa, right? What do you want us to hear you as our children say, please don't ever let these things fall away? What can we as the elders keep alive and keep anchored so that because y'all matter, as many jokes as we make about we're the grandchildren, y'all matter. We love you. We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. We love y'all. What can we preserve and build on as the elders that would continue the richness that you're talking about and build on it for the future generations?
For me, it's the stories, it's the family. It's like, okay, I don't know, like Nanny always could pull a picture out and tell you exactly who it was and where it was, and she didn't even need to look at her notes on the back, which she also had there. Like it's
Yeah, keep it preserving the history, the literal
yeah,
history.
yeah, the
Like
oral.
know the stories.
Mhm. Yep. I mean, it's like you knowing while I was on Henry Street, you telling me about the garden that Bobby used to make with you in the backyard, just stuff like that. Like, and the memory of like making the garden with all of us siblings over, like, that's now being a new time dad. Like, what's special to me is like the little moments that don't seem like little moments in the moment.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep, it's just days in, days out. And then you look back and go, those were the best years of our lives. Yep.
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 This
My
is why
father.
sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's the reason I refuse to delete a photo. I will keep adding
Yep.
storage to my phone before I delete a single photo.
We really need to get together and do like a print-a-thon and then like order things because if I don't even you guys have so many years of our lives on digital form and we have to do something with
I
this.
can't imagine. I was just talking with Jess about like getting an external hard drive because I have like the phone I have, I think has like 5,000 photos, and then I have two dead phones that each have like 10 to 15,000 photos on them. I'm like saving them so that I can export all the photos and then I'll throw it away or recycle it. Yeah. Yeah,
We'll
I'll do
we'll,
it
we'll
for
go
the
offline and figure that out. We'll,
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, we're just gonna do a little group therapy sitting here together as a family as we process this emotionally. Sarah's like,
um,
you guys reel it in. We're live. Like, do this.
Well, I mean, I think that's what you were talking about though, Sarah, is like identity. Like that
Mhm.
what makes you up who you are. It's like not your environment or what happens to you. It's how you feel, how you feel like you're understood, and like photos, memories, what you take on, what you value as important, I think is what makes us up.
Yeah.
Was it scary for y'all? I mean, I know you have to look back a few years since we got married in '05.
What
Was it scary integrating into the different culture? Was any of it just like, I'm intimidated, I don't like it, I wish my father would have chosen differently, like, why has he done this to us? Kind of like, and
no,
anything in there?
Not for me. I think I always had a great sense of adventure and great curiosity. So like the language, the culture was something that I could like hyperfixate on and be like, oh, okay, well, why do you do church like this instead of like how I did church back in California? What is that meaning? And like learning like it was oral tradition passed down from one of the apostles, Titus, I think.
Thomas
Thomas,
Motutala. Yeah.
yes. Yep. And that was just fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Yep. And
For,
like
oh, sorry.
Michigan was like Michigan, like 4 seasons. Like I was upset because I wasn't familiar and didn't know how to channel or communicate that appropriately, but I was just like in wonder. Like I'm a grown adult. I still live on Flint, in Flint. Like this is where I had my daughter. Like where I choose to live.
Yeah.
I think for me there was a hesitation, and I'm truly going to get canceled for this statement, but they didn't look like me. They didn't. The, the, the
Are you
mannerisms were
are you
different.
talking
The
about in Flint or my family?
both,
Both.
both. I both. I and with all respect, because I love these people. I love the community in Flint. I love the Assyrian community. But I grew up in a very one-sided part of California of just
Oh,
everyone
you
lived
mean
on the
vanilla.
beach.
You mean
Yeah.
vanilla. Oh, she's trying to
Yeah.
talk about whiteness.
No,
Let me say it for
not even
you. Say it for you, girl. They ain't gonna cancel us. You can
not even
say it.
just
It's
that.
okay to be
Just
white. No, white's getting real unpopular in the world today. But listen, we love you, white people. Well, there's room for white people. Vanilla has its time and place. We love white people. No, don't worry about that.
no, but just even the fact that we live near a beach. It was, blonde hair, shorts, and
Totally.
sure,
Listen,
it was.
you are really layering it down because you're talking about the culture of Southern California versus urban Flint, Michigan, East Side. Okay. Okay. So even when we were on the west side,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Kettering, like the west side, like more of it's Flint is rough. There's no bougie. I mean, like you gotta go look for bougie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? Because even the areas that were really nice when I was young, were the doctors and lawyers and all the whatever, but it doesn't look like that no more. It doesn't look like that. So you're totally right. You're talking about Costa Mesa, Laguna Beach, Irvine, Anaheim, Orange County
Mm-hmm.
to East Side Flint, Michigan. Radical difference. Radical.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it was just, I
And
think, more of a
that
culture
can be
shock.
very
Yeah.
intimidating. Totally. Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's kind of bring it back to what we were talking about, not just being an Assyrian American, but having that move and that transition. I found my place even in Flint. Like I call Flint home now. I don't call California my home any longer. I grew up in Flint. I
Right,
found
right.
myself in Flint, and um, it's just, but it's an initial shock, an initial fear. Oh, 100%. I can't. I'm not.
He's like,
It,
let me not lie to you people.
I,
Yeah, yeah.
but it was because of the communities and because of the love that I found there that it wasn't there long at all. It was
Yeah, yeah.
very much home.
Well, I would be remiss to have this time with you, beautiful people, and not bring on my own surprise guest, who personally I think we should all hold responsible for the whole the whole situation. Let me bring on my special guest. He's on his side. You got to turn your camera, babe.
Oh,
My surprise guest is your father, Brian John.
Hi.
I almost had 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 my camera turned that way too.
This is why we usually do tech runs with people, but this was a surprise. I texted your dad. I was like, I think you should be my surprise guest.
Well, I'm glad I could be here.
Well, I'm glad you're here too, because I think there's a part of this conversation that should involve you.
Okay.
It's appropriate. It's appropriate. You took a big chance, Brian. You took a big chance. You took a big chance in 2002 getting involved with Becky Zaru. You took a big chance getting married for the third time. You took a big chance trusting another woman with your children,
Yes.
trusting another family and culture and dynamic in another state. And we'll talk about our, my big fat Greek wedding experience in just a minute, but can you please talk about, and I mean, I think you've heard some of today's conversation with
Yes.
your children, right? Can you talk a little bit about what you felt that compelled you to take risks like that and what it's meant to you taking those risks?
Well, fortunately, you and your family were a pretty safe bet. For one, you were unlike anyone that I had ever met before. And, we spent the better part of a year getting to know each other before you even met Sarah and Stephen. And so I felt I knew you in a way that in some ways I didn't even know my previous wives. Because we had taken that extra time, that we'd even done some counseling together at that point. So, and then when I went to meet your parents to ask for your dad's hand in marriage, I was utterly blown away by how they embraced me. I don't think I have ever felt accepted by another family or another group of people like that. And it was literally just, it was instantly an extension of our family. And so it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. And therefore I knew it was going to be nothing like my children had ever experienced. And so that was part of the reason I sat next to you on the plane and said, I wish we could just bring them back when we were coming home from when I did ask for her hand in marriage.
We came here in December, or not here, here's Georgia. We went to Michigan from California in December of 2004 for Brian to meet my parents, y'all, you audience members, and ask my father for my hand in marriage. And he didn't want to leave. He was literally out in the driveway shoveling, going, God, I wish we could just send for the kids and all of our stuff. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave. And it's funny because I think Stephen and Dad kind of run parallel here, Sarah, on the Michigan thing with the weather. Like, you guys really enjoyed like the climate, the environment, the change of seasons, I feel like y'all as a family really enjoyed the outdoors. And would I be right when I say that?
Definitely.
I mean,
It took
camping
me
in the Back Bay, and like I was just telling a buddy at work, like we would like go explore and hike the Back Bay and like bird watch and identify plants and stuff in California. But in the part of California we were in, other than when we like went up to like Big Bear Lake and stuff, it was like the same weather or raining. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, so these guys shoveling, and Steven, I think, built an igloo every winter of his childhood in Michigan. Like, I lost more Tupperware to the outdoors with that kid, I think.
And tools.
Trash cans are way more efficient.
There you go. Free tips from Stephen Johns.
The very first winter we ever had, that Stephen and I experienced, I should say, we got woken up to snowballs in our beds. So I think I personally had a little harder transition into the winter months. But once we were there, it was great. I highly recommend any child should get a snowball as their first experience.
Without a doubt.
It was a lot of fun. It was truly.
Well, these were the little nuggets that we brought with us from California to Michigan, in case you were wondering what when Sarah said the little towhead blonde boy. There you have them.
Yep.
There's my inheritance.
Oh, she's bringing
You know,
all the
Brian
receipts
and I,
today.
we had a great time. Our wedding, our courtship. I wouldn't have married him if I wasn't enjoying the process, but it definitely was a difference in cultures. And I like to make jokes because at our wedding, it was Brian's sweet little Southern Texas family who'd migrated to California. You know, they were part of that original history. And then there's like me and my people, right? Then there's me and my people. There's my little Middle Eastern dad and my African geared friends. And it was it was a riot. We had a great time. I'm looking at a couple other pictures. Oh, here's when we brought all the kids up on the stage after the wedding. Look at Steven's face, all happy. He was getting money from Uncle Bobby. There you go.
Yeah.
I inherited four beautiful babies on the day of our wedding. This would be Brian assassinating my finger when we ate the cake. Remember how your father almost took off the whole finger? You can literally see the red throbbing end like it's a cartoon, like it's Bugs Bunny. When I
In his
first
defense, that cake was delicious.
that
It
cake
was.
was delicious.
It was
That
good.
was bomb.
We were raw vegan at that time.
There's a reason I bit her finger.
Yep.
So,
Right.
good.
He was making sure was nothing left there. When Brian was in town, let me just talk to y'all. When Dad was in town in 2004, my father called all the relatives, right? Because now we're engaged. Now we're officially he's gotten permission from my father. Well, that's not when we got engaged, but that's when the formality of the request. So now my father's calling family members. We got to bring Brian. You got to meet Brian. Becky, her fiance. This is going to be her. This is her guy, right? So now we're on the tour of Flint Assyrians that Dad has to meet. We go to my aunt's house. My aunt Shummi has cooked every possible Assyrian dish that you can encounter.
Yes.
Like 7 different entrees, all the side dishes.
And
all
at the time, I was a
appetizers.
very strict vegetarian.
My guy was such a vegetarian. And so we're sitting and she's like, there's this is a chicken curry, and then you can have this is the beef stew, and then you can have this is the dolma with the whatever, right? And he's going through this, and I look at her at one point, she's offering him this other stew, and I looked at her and I said, Auntie, I'm sorry, he's vegetarian. And she goes, oh, vegetarian? It's just a little bit of lamb. It's
Oh, yeah.
literally the line from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Like it's not sorta, it's literally the line. And your dad and I just kind of reach on the table, or gripping each other's hands, and just like, this can't be really my life. What vegetarians?
So needless to say, I wasn't a strict vegetarian that weekend.
I'm
But
pretty sure you had some chicken somewhere in that meal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I
Um,
feel if we're telling these kind of stories, I feel like it would be a disservice to not talk about the wonderfully magnificent Aunt Jane and his experiences with Aunt Jane.
Listen, Aunt Jane's house is where he had to stay while he was in Michigan for that trip, because it's inappropriate for him to stay in the same house where I was.
Of course.
So I stayed with my
Not the
mother
room,
and father.
same house. Same
Same
house.
house.
Yeah.
Not inappropriate to sleep in the same bed. Inappropriate, you ain't got to be in my daughter's house. You ain't got a ring on it yet, friend. Oh, this is so for real. I remember playing cards with them during that weekend, and I don't know what your dad said that was funny, and I leaned my head over on his shoulder and was like, thought it was so fun. And my dad didn't flinch. He's holding his cards, and he says, Najabuta, brati, Najabuta, which is like, be appropriate. Be appropriate.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta be all laid out on this man. That's inappropriate, right? And those are the kinds of things. That's exactly what we're talking about. These are the kinds of nuances. I've had to tell my husband, put your feet down, don't cross your legs like that in this house. And then just
Yes.
act like nothing's right. Don't sit like that.
Mm.
Don't sit like that. Don't sit like that. You can't sit like that and be here. There's a patriarch here. Put your foot down. Right? Because there's just cultural nuances.
Mm.
But the same thing with me. I know it might not seem like it because I'm born in America, but I wasn't from no Texas Nazarene family. Like, I don't know nothing about he is risen. He's risen indeed. I'd never heard that in my entire life. So I look like a jerk, people saying he's risen, and I'm like, Happy Easter. Like, I don't know. What are y'all talking about? I don't remember who it was that leaned over and was like, You're supposed to say he's risen indeed. I was like, You know what, friend? Thank you for looking out. Some random white lady at the church gave me a clue. Y'all just got me loose hanging out in the streets, not knowing what to say.
Baptize them by fire.
Right?
I'll figure it out.
But you know what? I want to say this kind of as we're culminating here with our hour. I want to say this though. I think if there's anything I would love for our audience to walk away with from this, is you can absolutely love, cherish, honor, serve, preserve, keep, celebrate whatever is precious to you and your family, your bloodline, your heritage, your culture, your tradition, just the stuff that means something to you. And without being harmed or harm another, let them do the exact same thing.
Yep.
Mhm.
You can serve rozo shorwa, chade, next to a broiled salmon and chess pie. Sarah's like, I'm on my way.
I'm so hungry.
He was like, You just said chade and chess pie? Get out of the way. You missed it a couple years ago. I had Stephen and his wife over, and we taught them chade and we taught them chess pie, and they got to take a little bit of both home with them.
I'm moving closer. I don't know how. I have to convince my husband and my child, but I'm on my way.
All right, we'll get
I'm-
Alex in here. We're just going to chop it up right now live on YouTube
okay.
with everybody.
No, but
Alex, we're taking a vote. You might not want to hear this, but listen,
No.
I just figure if each of you has like an in-law quarters, then we can just stop in a couple months at this kid's house, couple of months over there, cook, clean, play with the grandbabies, and then fly to the next kid's house, be in that in-law quarters for a couple months, clean, cook, kiss on babies, leave.
I think 40 acres of
Stephen's ready to
family.
build the village. All right. Stephen, I'm ready to commune up in your Stevensville or whatever you want to name it. But I think Stephen has had a dream of building a town his whole life. So for it. I mean, as many as the kids as we have and all their spouses and children that are going to be forthwith coming,
Yes.
we might as well get a town and start building one of our own. I like it.
Agreed.
I like it. So final words, any wishes that you would like to impart here these last couple of minutes, father and children?
I'll let my kids go first, please.
Thank you for inviting me to take part in this, and I appreciate being included. I love you guys.
Stephen, it really probably would not have been nearly as precious without you, my darling. I'm really glad that you're with us. Plan on coming to talk to us more in the future.
absolutely.
Definitely.
How
about you, my-
I'm right here.
Okay. I know you got your little studio space set up now. You're ready to he's ready to film anytime, Sarah.
I'll have it. I'll
What about
put
you,
a
my
note.
beautiful co-host? What do you want to say here this afternoon to your audience and your panel?
I love you guys with the bottom of my heart. I love the audience, and just know that we may not be blood related, but we are our own community, and we get to accept each other and love each other for who we are and what we are, and we can't wait for next time.
Absolutely. All right, husband.
I, for one, just have to thank my kids again for being so amazing. Like, it really was because of you and how openly you fit into that family as well. Like you were accepting of a lot as well that you could have very easily turned your nose up to or turned a blind eye to or whatever. And instead you looked at it with love, with acceptance, with a yearning to know and know more. And because of that, that's how you got this richness out of it. And so that's what I would say to anyone facing a similar situation or a situation that you're unfamiliar with is find the beauty in it. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yes, it's going to be new. Yes, there's going to be things that you have to adjust to. But I promise on the other side of it, it's worth it. Like we literally gained our lives out of it. And so I wouldn't trade any of that for the world.
Well, you guys are certainly a blessing on the lives of the immigrant refugee family of Zaru and Joseph. And you make my heart full.
Mm.
It is a privilege to be your mother and your friend and your business partner and fellow traveler on earth. To
Yeah.
each of you, Sarah and Stephen. I love you both very much and appreciate the grown-up relationship that we're cultivating now, even. And Brian Johns, way to do the work with me, sir.
Right back at you.
Way to do the work.
Yeah.
Listen, whether you are someone facing this kind of clash of cultures in your personal life, in your workplace, or in your community, there is a way. So before you give up on yourself, people you love, or the opportunities that are in front of you, maybe reach out. You're welcome to visit us at thegodlywomannetwork.com. And remember, the Godly Woman Network is on all the platforms under that name, here on YouTube, on Facebook, and Instagram, and TikTok. So keep looking out for us. My beautiful co-host Sarah and I will be back next month, in the month of August. What day? We're gonna surprise you. We're gonna let you know. And then,
We're gonna
and then
surprise ourselves.
and we're gonna surprise ourselves.
But we'll keep
Awesome.
you as informed as we are.
When we know, you'll know. Good news is it's always archived and on demand right here at the Godly Woman Network YouTube channel while we're figuring ourselves out in our new format. We appreciate y'all riding the wave. Remember, you can reach out for connect calls and one-on-ones and group classes, but right here on YouTube is where all of the podcasts will be sitting. Remember that this Thursday, I will be with Dr. Rocco Errico and Reverend Hanny Freewatt for Let There Be Light. And the following week, my husband and I will be back on the airwaves with Marriage Monday. I love you all. Sarah Stephen, Brian Johns. Long live the Johns family, my friends. I love you. I'll talk to you next time. Peace,
Bye.
everybody.